Today I will be talking about brush care and color mixing. So, before beginning any form of art with paint, you must get some brushes. The best way for students to easily access brushes is by organizing them according to their shape or size. I have chosen to organize brushes into 5 different categories. We have a flat brush, the angled brush, the round brush, the detailed brush, and the brush that we use to paint in large spaces. So for our flat brush, we have this one here. And as you can tell, it is very flat on the top and it's very thin. The next brush we have is our angled brush. So as you can see, the bristles are kind of at an angle and it's also very thin like our last brush. The third brush is our round brush. So as you can tell, the bristles are just very free-flowing and it's just kind of a small little round brush. The next brush is our detailed brush, so it's very tiny, the bristles are very close together, and it's easy to do details. And then the last brush is our brush that we use for large spaces, so it's similar to the round brush, it just has a lot more bristles and it's easier to paint those larger areas. So after the art making process, it is important that we take care of our brushes. It is important that the brushes maintain their shape, so that we can use them over and over again. So for those brushes to maintain their shape, we must make sure to immediately soak the brushes in some soapy water. So as you can tell, there's a lot of soap in there, it's got the water. So we would take all of our brushes after using them and we would just set them right in here and let them soak overnight in that soapy water to let all the paint get out of those bristles so that we can use them again. And then when we come in the next morning, we would take them out and rinse them in nice clean water. Overall, brush care and organization are important for the classroom, but also for our students. Organizing brushes by shape and style prevent confusion and give easy access to those who need specific brushes during their artwork. Next, we'll be doing color mixing. So tying directly into taking care of our brushes, it's important that when mixing colors, we rinse our brushes off in water so that we don't mess up watercolor or tempera paint palettes. With that being said, mixing colors is a great way for students to express individuality and creativity within their artwork. So today I'll be demonstrating hue, tint, shade, primary, secondary, complementary, and tertiary colors. So, first, here is our tempera paint palette that we'll be using today. It has 8 basic colors on it, and we'll be using those to combine and mix our colors. We'll start off with hue. So, our hue is simply a common term by which we call a color. So, just purple or blue, just that basic color. A very rich, deep purple color is the original color we would get from that tempera paint palette. So next we have our tint. So this is a little bit lighter of a color. So what you do is you take the original color, so we'll take our purple and you just paint that right on there like we did the hue, but then you'll also add white to it. So you'll take a little bit of that white and you'll mix it right in to give you a lighter tint. So you can already tell the difference of how it's lighter there. Next is our shade. So this is a darker value of a hue, and we create this by adding black to the hue. So you would do that black, you would do the purple, and then you take a little bit of black and you mix it in there. And sometimes you just have to play around with it to see what color you're trying to create. So you can add some more purple in there and it'll give you that very rich, deep purple color there to give you the shade. So next we have our primary colors, which are the 3 colors we need to make all other colors. So those colors are red, yellow, and blue. And we use those colors to actually make our secondary colors. So you would take two of the primary colors and you would combine them to get those secondary colors, which are orange, green, and purple. So I'll demonstrate. You could mix the red here. So here's one of our primary colors. And then you could get the yellow. And then you would mix it with the red, and you're going to see that orange forming between the two, which is how we get our secondary colors. Right there in the middle, you'll get that deep orange color. We also have our complementary colors, so those are colors that are going to be located directly across from each other on the color wheel, so like red and green or blue and orange. And when we mix those, you'll notice that we get like a brown color. So if we take the red here and just do that, and then if we take our green and mix those two, you'll notice that we kind of get that brown color there between the two. But when put side by side, they do contrast each other very well, and so it can provide emphasis in your artwork. But when you do mix them, you get that brown color. Last are our tertiary colors. So those are created by mixing equal portions of one primary and one secondary. So one of our primary colors would be red, yellow, or blue. So I'm going to choose to do blue. And we'll just paint a little square here. And then our secondary colors are orange, green, and purple. So I'm going to choose to do green. And we'll mix that in there. And it will create this blue-green color. When stating your tertiary colors, you do say the primary color first. So it does create a blue-green color. So throughout this whole process, when mixing these colors using a watercolor or tempera paint palette, it's important that we do rinse our brushes. So for instance, here's our palette, and so just then when I did the blue and the green, I took that blue and I just got some and I painted it, and then I came over and I rinsed it in our little cup of water, and then I came back and you can see that the brush is clean now, and you get the green and you mix it with that blue. So it is important that we rinse those off to take care of those brushes and take care of our tempera paint palettes.